Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, June 15, 2017. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines earlier today signed 2 loan agreements with the International Development Association through the World Bank. The projects, the Human Development Service Delivery Project and the OECS Agriculture Competitiveness Project amounts to some $15 million. Nolisha Miller tells us more in this report.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, on behalf of the government of SVG, earlier today signed 2 loan agreements with the International Development Association (IDA). The projects, the OECS Agriculture Competitiveness and the Human Development Service Delivery Project, total $9.6 million and $10.7 million respectively. Approved by the World Bank, the 2 projects are aimed at key sectors in the country. The Human Development Service Delivery Project is designed to strengthen the quality of service in education, improve the efficiency of social protection systems, and improve the effectiveness of the nation's labor market systems, while the Agriculture Competitiveness Project seeks to enhance access to markets and sales for selected farmers and fisherfolk, as well as their allied aggregators and agro-processors. Commending SVG on the progress it has made over the years, the World Bank's Country Director for the Caribbean, Tashin Saeed Khan, outlined some of the areas the projects are expected to positively impact.
In providing skills training to unemployed persons, as well as improve your technical vocational training system and your social protection beneficiary registration system as well. On the side of the agriculture and competitiveness project, that's a regional OECS project. It is here as well as with Grenada, and we are extremely hopeful that it does support your high priority in the agriculture sector, which I believe is something that you are very close to. It's your heart as well, to assist in the development of agro-business proposals and finance business plans for in areas such as modernizing farm equipment.
Khan said it is her hope and that of her organization that the projects will achieve their objectives.
We hope that both these projects will be the implementation or the effectiveness can begin before the ink is dry on our signatures. We would want accelerated implementation because in the end it's all about results. It's all about what the people of Vincent and Grenadine actually see tangibly coming, and whether it's in form of the very impressive airport that we saw when we landed last night, or in the shape of support to, which I believe is really top of the line support to pediatric care, which we are providing in the region.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves commended IDA and the World Bank for their continuing support to the development of SVG.
In relation to the Agriculture Competitiveness Project, said is our dimension of it in the regional project with Grenada, that this is just over $5 million, and this is really to address, to assist small farmers and small business people in agro-processing, in getting their plans and getting their work done properly.
The projects are expected to commence in September of this year and will be implemented over a 5-year period through the Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Ministry of Economic Planning. Nolisha Miller, The Evening News.
And various fisheries complexes in this country will be receiving upgrades to improve the sector. In answering a question posed in Parliament by Member of Parliament for North Leeward, Patel Matthews, as to the status of the Owia and Shatibele fisheries centers, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Sabota Caesar, outlined that the Owia fisheries complex was in a state of readiness. He further pointed out that fuel station and ice machine were in operation there and that there will be a private-public partnership in the overall management of the facility.
The Owia Fisheries Center, Mr. Speaker, is in a state of readiness. The equipment is in good working condition, and a new 1.9-ton flake ice machine has been installed. The fuel facilities have been rehabilitated and has a holding capacity for 2,000 gallons of gasoline and 2,000 gallons of diesel, respectively. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst the question spoke to the issue of the disrepair at some of the centers, I want to note that work has begun and work is continuing.
Caesar noted that the government has advertised for the fisheries centers to be managed by public entities and they have been interest expressed. He is hopeful that the other fisheries centers at Barley, Calico, Union Island, Beckwin, Canawan will be taken up, and pointed out that the fisheries center at Chateaubelair is being assessed by Braxa for repairs.
Several companies, I was advised, Mr. Speaker, have expressed an interest. Details are being worked out by the Department of Fisheries, and very soon there will be a public-private sector partnership for the management of the facility in Oya. Chateaubelair. The Chateaubelair Fisheries Center is currently not operational, as it requires extensive repairs. The Fisheries Division has engaged Braxa for an estimate of works required to get it to a state of readiness.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has assured the Anglican community that they will receive monies from government to assist them in the repairs of the cathedral in Kingstown. In answering a question posed by the Member of Parliament for Central Kingstown, Sinclair Leacock, on how the state can assist with the $3 million renovation needed for the St. George's Anglican Cathedral, PM Gonsalves said that Cabinet had already agreed that it is necessary to provide the assistance to the cause as the building is a historical monument. The Prime Minister said that although there is a separation of church and state, the government has helped and continue to help other religious institutions.
I asked the Accountant General to find for me what was the particular extent of the sum, because my memory, I couldn't recall precisely what we had given to the Methodist Church, but we can't give less to the Anglican Church. And I will make a couple of calls to ask persons, but because I understand it's quite a large sum of money required. The truth is this: you can't restore that church with barbecue and bingo. You can't restore it by barbecue and bingo. So I fear that the longer it is put off, the more adversely the Anglican community would be affected. Because I know they go up to Sion Hill, but it is not the same thing.
Former Prime Minister Sir James Mitchell is calling for the law pertaining to disappearance at sea to be revised. Sir James, who was on Boom FM this morning, expressed solidarity with the family and co-workers of the missing six and commended the Musty Company for holding a vigil on the island last evening. Sir James pointed out that although under his administration some amendments were made to the law, he called on the present administration to look again at it as it could affect survivors' benefit, among other things.
And they leave a will or they leave property or anything is supposed to come to them. You really can't proceed for some time without a death certificate. So therefore the law about disappearance at sea has to come into effect. And we changed it because a lot of people came to me to say they want to get married and family disappear and so on. And I would like the government to look again, and the whole parliament, to look again at the laws dealing with disappearance at sea, so to facilitate the survivors and those involved about how they secure and receive what is due to them.
Noting that his own grandfather was missing at sea and that as a child he lost his own father, who was a seafarer. Sir James gave comforting words to the children and the family of the missing six.
A child will always in many ways be wondering what happened to their father or mother, or wife might be wondering what happened to the husband and so on. I understand those feelings. But what I want to say to such children, bear the pain and grow up loving the memory of your vanished parents. I know how it feels, and I feel your pain. It might be useful, but this is how I had to deal with it throughout my life. Anytime I thought about the disappearance of my father, I will reflect in my mind and say, I am sure that in his last drowning moments, he thought about me and my brothers and sisters. So I think that kind of thought will help anyone to deal with when they're growing up. Or even those who are adults losing a loved one, to think that that person thought about them before they perished. It gave me a lot of strength. And that is really what I want to share to the people of Mustique.
Welcome back. An appeal has been made here for due diligence to be paid to records and record keeping in this country. At the opening ceremony of a training workshop on archival and records management earlier this week, Assistant Archivist at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, Stanley Griffin highlighted the volume of negligence invested in the region's documentation process of its history. Griffin noted the significance of record keeping, stating it is the only way a nation can thrive.
Bash the UK, for example, about the wickedness of colonialism, but they have a record of every single thing they have done right up until the night of independence. Sad to say, well, I really hope that's not the case of St. Vincent, but when the time comes for us to start looking at our post-independent lives, we are not as diligent as the colonial masters. It is a noted fact that for an empire to be functional, it was the records that kept the Union Jack flying. The higher a tree grows, the more likely it is to need deep roots. When the storms come, only the roots make a difference. The older a society or nation becomes, the more it needs to tell its story, so that in each generation, we renew the sense of who we are and why we are here now.
Emphasizing on the importance of records, the UWI lecturer said the younger generation must be reminded of their origins.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the power of records. Having the ability to remind each generation about who we are and why we are here now. In so doing, we must recognize the value of all our forms of storytelling, our calypsos, carnival costumes, music, visual art forms, photographs, film, all capture experiences and spaces in our journey through time. Caribbean life is not one-dimensional and cannot just be represented on paper. We must therefore recognize the value of other record formats, including social media, and try our very best to capture and preserve these current snapshots for the future.
Meantime, UNESCO Secretary General Janelle Henry Rose highlighted the efforts UNESCO continues to make in records keeping, noting a recent contribution of a grant of US $22,000.
We would have been involved in capacity building in various fields such as climate change, HIV, statistics, TVET. However, we know that the participation program, that one seemed to be quite popular among countries as they strive to address issues of concern. So every 2 years, through the local National Commission for UNESCO, we have the member states, they're given the opportunity to request modest funding of up to about $26,000 US. This is done under this particular program. So the program complements UNESCO's regular activities which facilitate the implementation of national, sub-regional, inter-regional, and even regional projects that are directly related to the organization activities.
Carnival Beat is coming right up. Stay with us. Welcome to Carnival Beat this evening. The streets in the Marico Valley will this weekend come alive as revelers gather to take part in activities which will culminate Piteni Mass 2017. Kicking things off on Friday, June 16, will be the Miss Piteni pageant, which will be held at the Lakwab Boxing Plant from 8 p.m. On Wednesday, SVG-TV's Nikita Tony spoke with 5 of the 6 contestants vying for the title, who said they are ready to set the tone for the weekend's activities.
Known as the biggest rural carnival event in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, revelers in the Marico Valley and surrounding areas will this weekend be a part of the activities which will culminate Piteni Mass 2017. Setting the tone for the weekend of events in the Mesopotamia Valley will be the Miss Piteni pageant. And according to one of the show's coordinators, Rikisha Wayne, come Friday night, persons can expect a great display of beauty, elegance, and intelligence as the girls are ready to give of their best.
We are known for being the best rural carnival in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and every year there's no exception. There's nowhere to go other than up. We have 6 beautiful young ladies vying for the title of Miss Piteni 2017. They have talent, they are beautiful, and they are also intelligent. So I'm inviting each and every one to come out on June 16 to witness the crowning of Miss Piteni 2017. Admission this year is now $20.
Speaking to 5 of the 6 contestants, it was very evident that the young ladies are more than ready to deliver come show night. Contestant number 1, Miss Prime Consultant Ronick Forbes, said she intends to use the experience to pursue even bigger goals as she aims to partake in the Miss SVG pageant.
I'm 24 years old, Ronick Forbes, proudly sponsored by Prime Consulting. On June 16, 2017, which is this Friday, we expect intelligence and entertainment from our 6 gorgeous delegates.
19-year-old Ariel Charles, contestant number 3, Miss Touch of Pearl Restaurant and Bar, pointed out that she intends to put her best foot forward on the night of the pageant.
My name is Ariel Charles. I was proudly sponsored by Touch of Pearl Restaurant and Bar. On Friday, June 16th, there will be a fusion of beauty, talent, and intelligence. Come out at the local boxing plant and witness the crowning of Miss Piteni 2017.
Miss Rough Ice International and contestant number 4, Ashana Jack, is confident that persons will be blown away by what all 6 contestants have to offer.
6 years old, Ashana Jack, and I am sponsored by Rough Ice International. I decided to enter this pageant just for experience, something out of my comfort zone. It will be held at Lakwa Boxing Plant in Mesopotamia at 8 p.m. Don't be late or you'll miss a great deal.
Not deterred by her timid personality, contestant number 5, Miss Red Dog Garage, Teresita Timothy, urged persons to come out and experience pageantry at its best.
I'm Teresita Timothy, Miss Red Dog Garage. I choose to enter the Miss Piteni show because of my cousin. She was a former contestant in the Miss Piteni pageant. I take this opportunity to invite you at the Local Boxing Plant, June 16th, this Friday at 8 p.m. sharp. Don't be late.
No stranger to pageants, contestant number 6, Melanie Woods, Miss People's Pharmacy, said she is ready to wow patrons come show night.
Sponsored by the People's Pharmacy, I come to you as their representative in this year's Miss Piteni pageant. Be ready, be on time, for you are yet to witness a revelation of an epic package that awaits you from your contestant number 6.
Missing from the day's interview was contestant number 2, Kaisha Dawes, Miss Dazzle. Giving a brief overview of the weekend's proceedings, Secretary of the Piteni Carnival Committee, Lynn Marie Nichols, noted that the event has grown over the years as patrons gravitate to what she describes as the best rural carnival in SVG.
Friday, June 16th, Lacwa Boxing Plant, the staging of the Kingston Cooperative Credit Union Miss Bethany 2017. Saturday morning, there's a juve that starts from the boxing plant through the streets and of Marikwa. At 2 p.m., there's a kiddie street party, and at 5 p.m., there's a street party. On that weekend, you could say that the country is on one side because everybody is at Mespo. This year, which would be our 10 years, things would be even better.
As they gear up to provide the true Bethany Mass experience, the Bethany Mass Committee urges the entire Vincenton public to come out and be a part of the weekend of events. Reporting for Carnival Beat, I am Nikita Tony.
Having been around the Vincy Mass Arena for some 11 years now, the Imagination Mass Band is this year using their creativity to highlight various social networking sites as they present social media for their mass presentation this year. With 8 sections, the Mass Band is aiming for the top spot as they continue to prepare for the festive season. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Definitely a force to be reckoned with, the Imagination Mass Band is heating up for Carnival 2017 with their production, Social Media. Outlining that there was an array of teams to choose from this year, band leader of the Imagination Mass Band, Denrick Woodley, said revelers can expect an exceptional display of mass and creativity this Carnival season.
For the kids, we're doing Play Store. As you can see, we have the Ludo working on, and we have Snake and Ladder. Those are for the kids. And we have Snapchat for the big people, Twitter, IMO, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook.
Pointing out that the band is a bit behind with its production, Woodley said despite this, he is confident that they will have a great season.
And sponsors is a problem at this time. A lot of people crying out. But of course, we have a few people that help us, and we are grateful. Registration is very slow. A lot of people come in, they like the presentation, they like what they see so far, but to register, that is the problem. They keep saying they're coming back. We are here, we are always open, we open 24/7. We will get there. And the people could expect great things from Imagination Mass Band on the road Carnival Tuesday and kiddies.
Thanking his sponsors for their continued support, Woodley further urged the Vincenton public to make the Imagination Mass Band their carnival band of choice.
We are going to put our effort out there to make sure that we come right up to the top. So I'm telling you now, come and register with the band. You're not going to miss anything because enjoyment is there for you, and the road Carnival Tuesday, drinks, everything will be there.
Nikita Tony reporting for Carnival Beat.
That was Carnival Beat this evening, and the end of our local segment. A senior attorney general in Trinidad and Tobago calls for an investigation into the conduct of the country's chief justice. This from the region. When we return, stay with us.
Local news segment was sponsored in part by Hiron Bear. Hold your own.
From Monday jump up, we in